Uh-oh, I was too early. Never said that before in my lifetime.
Do you
All
have
right.
anything fancy to say now?
I don't know. Well, you are listening to Geek Vice once again, the podcast that is not afraid to ask how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
4.
I thought it was 3.
Oh, 3. I don't know. I don't know these things.
We got to do research.
All right. It's time to go eat a Tootsie Pop. Welcome, everybody, to Geek Vice, episode 129, proving any vice with enough geek can become a virtue. This is Morph. That guy over there is Kip. Good evening, Kip.
Good evening.
So, we're going to see how this tonight goes. I'm going to warn you, I've had, what would that be? What's where you get the letters mixed up in words?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that except with words. I've been having a problem with it all night, calling the kids the wrong names, I asked the youngest one if he wanted me to put toothbrush on his toothpaste. It's just been an incredible day for my brain. Apparently, it is ready for vacation, which is coming at the end of this week. And then, of course, Kip over there has been shooting things off too early, and God knows what else he's doing over there. So
You don't want to know.
So how are you doing this evening, Mr. Kip?
I am doing just fine. How did you enjoy your Memorial Weekend?
Memorial Weekend was actually really good. We got out and did some fun stuff on Friday. I helped a guy move. That was fun.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Well, I mean, it was all right. We got it done before the rain came in, so that's a good thing. The rain that caused the soccer game to get delayed an extra hour, which I chose not to go to, so that was an even bigger plus. The game started 2.5 hours late, had an extra hour at halftime because of the storms, but they still got the game in. So that was, so they got that going for them.
Man.
Saturday, what did we do Saturday? I got my head shaved off, so that was good. Got the summer dew. And, I got hung out with some friends. So that was fun. And Sunday, got to play soccer at the park with the kids and went to Lawrence, Kansas to enjoy some of the fancy stuff at Lawrence. My wife had an appointment out there, and so that's where the kids and we took over a park and took our soccer ball and took a couple soccer balls and a soccer goal and set it up and got to play some soccer out in the park. So that was kind of fun.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, then went to Fuzzy Tacos. You ever been to Fuzzy Tacos?
Yep.
Fuzzy Tacos is good. I like that. It was right across the street from the park on Mass Street for anyone that wants to go down there. But then I also want to throw out and give a shout out to the Mass Street Soda Shop, which is just a few stores north of Fuzzy Tacos on Mass Street, and it is really good. They've got a whole bunch of their website says 1,300 varieties of craft soda from all over the world. So, I mean, they've got stuff with grape soda and orange soda and tons of different kinds of root beers and cream sodas, all kinds of stuff there. And so it was kind of fun walking through and seeing all that they had. They've also got a big, chalkboard map of the United States that's up on one of the walls. And they kind of have distinct sodas from each state, and then they had them starred on which ones they had, and some of them were as well known as A&W, and then there were some that those of you that aren't from Kansas probably don't know. Lost Trails is actually here brewed, or I guess brewed or bottled or whatever, made here in Kansas, and that's one that they had too. So we got some sodas, and I thought they were kind of cool. We let the kids pick out a soda, and my oldest one is a big fan of root beer, so he picked out Cool Mountain root beer, and I believe this one is from Iowa, or no, Illinois. Des Plaines, Illinois. And it's pretty tasty. Tastes like root beer. But then, of course, my youngest son decides he just picks them out based on color. So he picked this one out because it was blue. You can still see a little bit left. And this is Jones soda, which I've seen Jones in the store. So it maybe not as crazy, but I've never seen berry lemonade soda. And that's what this one is. So,
Yeah, but were you brave enough to get the sweet corn flavored soda?
no, I was not. I did see a bottle of it there, at least one bottle. They didn't have a lot of it, so they at least had it there if you really wanted to try it. But no, I was not gonna.
I would actually like to meet the person who likes the flavor of that, but
Yeah,
because I tried maybe an eighth of a shot of that, and it took like 5 days for me to quit burping that taste.
oh,
It was horrible.
that is bad.
It was the worst thing I've ever tasted.
Yeah, no, it's awful. I definitely agree. Like, I don't even want to try it. It sounds so bad, but
Hey, it'll change your life.
yeah, this place is really cool. They'll do tastings if you want to just try some stuff. You can buy a 6-pack, so they have little cases so you can make your own 6-pack of soda, which is really kind of cool. And then they also have a chiller there that, they will, any soda that you want that's just sitting on their shelves, that you can have them, and they'll pop the top of it and run it through their chiller, and within a couple minutes it'll be, refrigerator cold.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool, for those that want to get one and pop the top and drink it right there. And they also have some ice cream there, so they can turn any of their sodas into floats, which is kind of cool. So I didn't look to see if they had knee high. You ever had peach knee high?
I haven't had peach knee high. I think I've had orange.
Yeah. We always got knee high was they would do peach floats in Iconium, Missouri, and that was a 5 mile. It was about 2.5 miles from, a little over 2.5 miles from the Boy Scout reservation to Iconium, where that shop was. So, for Boy Scout camp when we were kids, we would do we'd try to do a 5-mile hike, and so you could hike from your campsite to Iconium, get peach floats, which was made with peach knee high, and then walk back, and you get a little over 5 miles in, and you would get a peach float. So that was always cool.
This is amazing timing, because there's not too far from my house, probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles from my house, there's a place that mom and pop owned ice cream shop.
Yeah.
And they had a sign up saying they now have peach knee high floats.
There you go.
I'd never even heard of this, and now twice in one day. That's amazing.
See, I grew up on that. I mean, I was in Boy Scouts for quite a while, and that was like
a Missouri thing or something.
Probably every summer when I would go down to scout camp. You're down there for 10 days, and at least one time in that 10 days you would go to Iconium. And then even then, after I got out of Boy Scouts and I still had some friends that were in it, I would still go down for ceremonies down at scout camp, them getting awards and that kind of stuff. And so I would go down there, and every time I'd go down, we'd always stop by Iconium, either on the way out or on the way in, depending on what we were going down for. And it was cool. It was very cool. So I need to look. I'm definitely going to the soda shop again, because it's really cool, and they've got just tons of different sodas. And I think I want to try one from every state. I want to put that on my list of things to do. So
Very cool.
much easier than driving to every state. I could just go get it from one shop.
There you go.
Yeah, and who knows if they do. They do say on their website that that they're able to ship soda anywhere in the United States through their online store. And then if there's a soda that they don't have yet, let them know, and they'll do their best to get it in stock. So I'm sure if you wanted something like, they were out of the sweet corn soda and you wanted one, they would get it for you, John. They would.
I'm sure. I'm glad they could provide that service.
They would love to provide you with that.
Yeah. I think I'd rather eat a bar of lava soap than drink that again.
I can understand that. So what did you do for your Memorial Day weekend?
Well, my Memorial Day weekend started off with a big, loud sucking noise, and not the good way. So Thursday night, came home from work, was still putting things away and still just settling in, and a thunderstorm kicked up, and the wind was blowing pretty freaking hard up here. And all of a sudden, it sounded like in the upstairs a bomb went off. And then I heard the electric noise that you hear from like the Frankenstein movies. So I look out the back where the power lines are, and the transformer is sparking. There's big arcs of electricity going up and down the power line, and our lights start flickering, and it's like, this is awesome. And then I realized, looking out the back window, there's a tree missing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the wind had blown over a tree. It landed on the power line going from the pole to our house, ripped everything off the side of our house.
Oh.
And then when it was all said and done, I got power to half the house. So we've got live lines laying on the ground in our backyard. We have power to half the house. So it was apparently one of the phases got pulled out. So, you call the electric company, blah, blah, blah. They come out the next day. They say, well, ours is kind of special because there used to be a pool in our backyard. So instead of going straight from the pole to the power box, it went around where the pool used to be and then gets into this monster conduit that runs along the length of the back of our house and then down to the power box. They ripped all that conduit off, broke it in like 3 or 4 places.
Oh, man.
KCP&L comes out and says, well, we can't put, they call it the mast arm. We can't put the mast arm back up, but we can connect power back to your house. I took that to mean we're going to have power to the house, but it's not going to be the way it was. No, what it actually meant is they'll get the power lines off the ground and hang them on the side of the house, but it's not hooked to anything.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can imagine how pleased I was with KCP&L. So I had to call an electrician, and I got lucky that I even found one that could come over that day and work on it. And he's like, well, it's getting late. I can only really do like a temporary, and then we'll come out next week to finish it, but you'll have power. And it's like, all right. And then while we're standing in the backyard, another thunderstorm comes up, and it's just dumping like crazy. And he's like, well, I still got to go buy some stuff. I'll go do that. Hopefully the rain will have died down by then. That's like, God, I hope so, because this would suck to be without power. Because when KCP&L came out, they just cut all the lines.
Yeah.
So we went from power to half the house to power to none of the house.
Oh, that's even worse.
So he comes back and he said, he called a helper of his, and he's going to come and help him do everything. It's like, fine, I don't care as long as we have power. So his helper shows up, and basically shames him into not doing a temporary fix. Let's just do it right the first time, which I appreciated. So they actually did it with the correct way. Rehung, put new conduit up, rehung everything, did it right. We didn't get power until 8:15 Friday night. So we had no air conditioner from Thursday evening at 5:30 until Friday night at 8:15.
That house was probably smoking.
It wasn't too bad because Friday was overcast and it didn't get too
Oh,
hot until that thunderstorm kicked up,
that's good.
and then it just got humid and miserable. So I'm thinking, this is probably going to cost me $500 to $1,000.
Yeah.
$1,500.
Oh.
So yeah. So if you're thinking about robbing me right now, this is not a good time.
Kip has no money.
Thank you very much. So we did that, and then looking in the backyard, we had one more tree, a cedar tree that was starting to get tall enough to get into the power lines. So I have one of those, telescopic poles with the saw blade on the end.
Oh, yeah?
I thought I'll just go out there and chop 2 or 3 feet off of the top of that tree. Be a piece of cake. If you're one of those workout fanatics that is always looking for an exercise that your body is not used to that'll give you that workout, buy one of those goddamn saws on a pole and trim limbs above your head. Holy shit. I only cut, I don't know, 3 or 4 2 to 3 inch in diameter limbs.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's all tangled in ivy, so it was a bitch getting it all down. I was a freaking wreck. I was sweating bullets. My body was just completely wore out. I got up the next morning. My hands were sore. My shoulders were sore. My core was sore when I sneezed or something. Oh man, did it hurt!
Oh.
Every muscle in my midsection was trashed. So if you're looking for a total body workout, at least a core workout, come on over. I've got all the equipment you need and the trees. Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so that sucked.
Yeah, that's funny in the that's terrible way instead of the ha funny stage.
Yeah. So, but the weekend picked up. It wasn't all bad. It was the wife and I's 12th anniversary, so we went to a nice restaurant last night and had a good meal, and that was all good. Because I'm, 12 years old, I also got to play a video game this weekend called Far Cry Primal. Have you heard of this game?
I believe so, because I think this is one that I saw a while back. Well, not that long ago. It's a fairly new game, isn't it?
Yeah, it came out in February of this year.
Okay, yeah.
And
you hunt like big, it's like dinosaur type era, right?
Well, it takes place in 10,000 BC.
Oh, okay.
So I think it said on the box is like the Mesolithic era, which, we all know exactly when that was, right?
Yeah, and yeah, exactly.
So picture yourself dropped into the jungle. For somehow you know how to make tools and weapons, and somehow you know how to speak the language, and you know how to hunt. But that's pretty much it. That's the game. So the game starts off, you are Takar of the Winja tribe, and you're out with your best bud, and you guys get attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. Everybody gets killed but you.
Awesome. That's a great way to start off a game.
Yep. So now you're on your own. You got to go find the Winja have now scattered to the wind. So you got to start your own village and find people, rescue people, forage, kill, not only for food, but there's another tribe out there that's a pain in your ass that you got to take care of. And you start off, and your only ability is to throw a rock. So if you push down on what's called the right 3 button, you go into like hunt mode, and everything kind of goes fuzzy, but certain things highlight, like animals, people, and then things that you can use, like slate and hardwoods and things like that that you can walk up to and harvest. So you can fashion your own weapons. The first one you get to make is a bow and arrow. And then you got to kill some goats and all this other stuff, and your pack is getting pretty full, and you just keep doing this, and you run across this girl and you help her out, and you get all these side quests. The cool thing about the game is you can follow the storyline straight through if you wanted to. You know, you meet up the girl, you have to go through and set up bonfires to be like waypoints, so you can fast track to different places, and you can find other tribe members and all this other stuff and do all that stuff. Or you can do the side quests. It's a big sandbox. You could actually just go on a killing spree if you wanted to, and just anything that moves, kill it. Which is kind of fun in itself, because my favorite weapon was just a club. Just a piece of hardwood with a stone stuck into it.
Nice.
I beat a lot of stuff to death with that thing. People, wolves, pigs. I'm trying to think. The other tribe, I think they're called Udom or something like that. Yeah. In fact, I knew I was supposed to rescue people out of my own tribe, and I came across 3 people, and I beat them all to death. They may have been part of my tribe. I don't know.
No, I don't like you. I'm a loner. Leave me alone.
So if it was Fable where you can go good or bad, I was totally a bad caveman. But the game is a lot of fun. It's one of those games, though, you could get lost in. And I don't mean in the terrain, which I did a lot of times, but you could get just engrossed in the game to enough that next thing you know, 3 hours have gone by, and it felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're foraging, you're looking for certain things to pick up. I mean, the one type of hardwood is everywhere. You really don't need that much of it, but it's freaking everywhere. And then the ones you do need, you can't find. So, and I'm sure it all comes down to, if I knew if I wasn't real late at night and I wasn't sleepy, I probably would have realized that the one I was looking for grows in a certain type of terrain or something, but I wasn't that cognitive.
That
That's
happens.
fine. It's it's first person. It's 10,000 BC. You get attacked a lot by predators, and a lot of times you lose sight of them because they got behind you or something, and you're just kind of spinning around and swinging the club and hoping you hit anything, and they're way down by your knees and you're missing. And so I totally felt like 2016 Kip was teleported back to 10,000 BC, and I was fucked. But it was a good time. I if you like good exploration, a little bit of problem solving, not a ton, but a little bit, it's a good game for that. I mean, you can, like Fable, you can just side quest the shit out of it if you wanted to, or you can just go straight line, finish the story. It's up to you. I chose to just wander around and kill things and see what stuff I could find to build. I got attacked by an alligator or a crocodile that I didn't know was there because I wasn't using my hunter sense. That was pretty exciting. So I had to restart. But yeah. So have you played any of the Far Cry games?
I have not. I haven't. No, I haven't played any of them, and they're games that I've seen. And the Far Cry Primal one, I remember seeing the trailer for that and going, that actually kind of looks kind of cool. But a lot of the times I steer away from those games because most of them are first person shooter type games, and I just suck so bad at first person shooters, they just make me angry, and then I quit playing them. So I usually don't spend money on them.
Well, this one I think you would like because you can be a little Assassin's Creed-ish if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You can and sneak up on animals or people and then jump out and club them to death, which I don't know if I've said this. I enjoyed the hell out of that.
I might have to see if I can get that one. Is that an Xbox One PS4 game?
Yeah, probably. I played it on my PS4. I'm not sure if it's for the other. Well, you can. It also comes on PC.
Yep, you can get it on PC. So then I might have a chance because I don't have either those others. Although I did enter a drawing to win either an Xbox One or a PS4 when I was at Fuzzy Tacos on Sunday. So,
which is, by the way, one of the best names ever.
Yeah, Fuzzy Tacos is awesome. There was something else that I thought of as you were mentioning that you were playing this game late at night. Something else you and I both did over the weekend was we played your first take on D&D 5th edition.
We did do that, yes.
You joined our gaming group. So, what did you think about the absolute lack of getting to do anything for your character?
Well, I was glad to see that the role-playing part of the game, this group isn't any better than my last group.
No.
I was glad to see that.
No, it's not. It's not any better. I mean, we try, but it's not good.
Yeah, for those people who are wondering what the hell we're talking about, I jumped in after they had already done a bunch of stuff, and they were sent to this encampment to rescue one of their prisoners and get as much information as they possibly could. When the whole thing was said and done, we got no information and did not rescue the guy. So, yeah, we're that good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, oh man, it was 4 hours of absolutely no combat. And a group of people who had really no idea what we were doing. But
how many perception checks did we fail?
Oh, probably hundreds. I mean,
not perception.
Investigation.
What was the other one?
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
We were also in the deception.
Yeah.
We were pretty much any role I had to make, I failed. Except for the one to get out when we were leaving. I actually succeeded at that. But yeah, I mean, it was, well, and it was funny because I was talking with, Scott came over on Monday. We had a barbecue, and Scott's another guy in our gaming group. He plays Tolk, and he asked me what if I had talked to anyone else, and I'm like, no, I haven't talked to anyone yet, but I said I'll probably talk to Kip when we record the show, and he's like, oh, well, you have to see how he liked the whole concept of me choosing what we were going to do and then failing at every single role, and someone else would have to come in and figure out how to do it right to get the information we needed. I mean, honestly, we could have walked in there, walked right up to the prisoners, turned around and walked right back out, and we would have gotten the same thing accomplished that we did spending 2 days in that area and 4 hours of playing time.
Yeah, the only thing we got out of it, honestly, was XP.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we did try to role play it, or at least I tried to role play it.
Oh, that's the funny thing about it is there was some really good questions asked to get the information, but the dice roll killed it every freaking time.
Every time.
It's like, oh, that was the perfect question. Let me roll that. 3.
Yeah. And then I didn't even think about it until Brad brought it up towards the end that I think we'd already left and we were packing up for the night. He's like, oh, yeah, well, you know, he kept having Scott's character, Toke, roll deception checks like a lot. And we're like, well, I don't understand what he's doing. And or was it deception or it was wisdom or something? I think it was wisdom. And
it was wisdom.
It was in order to get him to blend in with the group because he fought one of the main guys that was in the big tent that kicked his ass in like 2 turns. And if that guy would have noticed him, we would have been screwed. It's like, oh no, this could have gone so poorly. But including our GM was rolling poorly. So we got lucky. I think
we could have ended up just all being killed. And, you know, my character was doing his introduction to the group. So basically, you guys didn't know I was there at first.
Yeah.
And so me and the GM are passing notes back and forth, telling him what I'm doing and all this other stuff. So the other group didn't know what was going on. And and finally, it got to the point where, all right, I'm just going to jump in here because these guys are never going to get to the point where it's seamless to have my character jump in.
Oh, yeah. And it was just kind of like, all right. You know, it's kind of funny because that's always the hardest part to do. And I think like even where we were at made it really hard. You know, if it would have been like a week before, we probably could have brought you into the group a little bit easier. Like just the whole coming in on a full, like just dialogue heavy, a non-combat centric, like play session was really hard to work that in without.
Oh yeah, and I couldn't prove my worth at all. You know, why would you trust me? Well, because I said so. Not that I could save anybody in combat or somehow endear myself to the group. You just kind of had to take my word for it. It was that way. It was funny. It just felt like a comedy of errors.
Well, and you know, it also makes it hard. Like my character is just a logic, no nonsense, just straightforward. This is what it is. No emotions, just, you know, kind of like a type mindset. So like you coming in and saying, hey, we've got common enemies. I'm like, yep. All right. I'm good with that. Let's go. You know,
yeah,
it's
exactly. Like, that's kind of how it was.
And that's just how my character would react to it. I was kind of hoping that somebody else would be like I don't really like this guy and just start some of the
Scott did that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think he felt like he was outnumbered, so he just
and Scott's also like, this is the first time he's played any sort of role-playing game like this, but he's even starting to get into it a little bit. Just like he just looks at it and he's like, you know, even that one time where you and I overheard a conversation and then we tried to jump in and like talk to these people to get more information and we just rolled so poorly. They just looked at us like, F you, we're leaving. And like,
okay, yeah, picture 2 guys at a bar and there's a table of hot chicks and the 2 guys go over to talk to them. That's pretty much how that conversation went for us.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was awful.
It was bad. And then as we walk away, like we even have to make wisdom checks to make sure they weren't going to like be suspicious of us. And then Toke comes up and he's like, "Were those guys bothering you?" Do we need to take care of them? Like, oh, oh, that's yeah. That's great. It gets all the information, and then he just like walks up behind us, like, yeah. I mean, like, what are we gonna do? Like, I have the worst numbers for what we needed to do, and I was the one that was kind of running it. I'm like, this is bad. This is going poorly. But we made it out. We didn't die, so I guess that's a win.
Yeah, we were actually fairly successful in spite of ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny because we did. Yeah, we've already covered this, but we did nothing. You and I did nothing right.
Yeah. No.
I mean, we asked good questions and whatnot, but the dice just kind of gave us the big fuck you. And
I don't know. Maybe Will Wheaton touched our dice at some point, or we got Will Wheaton's curse because we just couldn't roll good. We couldn't roll anything to save our lives. But so yeah, we got that going for us. But how you leveled up to level 3 now?
I did.
So you get to choose your path for your barbarian. So
yeah, I could go berserker or do a totem.
Right.
So I was totally set on going berserker, and then you guys started talking about how awesome Totem of the Bear was. So it's like, well, now I need to revisit that and see if I just kind of missed the intent or something. So
well, and I think Totem of the Bear is about the only totem that I looked at that I read that was like, oh, that one is pretty badass. And part of it is seeing it being played. So in the Critical Role TV show, or the Twitch show that it's on Geek and Sundry's channel, they fought a character that was Totem of the Bear, and basically he's just a pure tank. He can take every damage he takes while he's raging is halved. So if he has a reflex save that allows him to take half damage, then he actually takes half of that half. So he only takes a quarter damage.
Which I think with this group, I may have to go that way. And it's no knock against you guys, but all of you guys are ranged fighters.
Yeah, well, we're not necessarily ranged fighters, but we don't have a true tank.
Right. Well, you do now.
And a tank at a low level. That's kind of the problem. Like, Scott's character is a paladin, and he will eventually be a tank because his hit dice, and every time he levels up, he's going to get so much more hit points, and he can wear the heaviest armor. So he's going to be the hardest to hit and the most hit points until you've joined. But the rest of us, like, I'm a melee type character, but I'm a dwarf monk, so I don't wear armor and I don't have any weapons. I just punch with my fists. I can just punch a lot. So I'm very similar to the character that the rogue character I played with the Pathfinder group that you and I played in, where I don't do a lot of damage in a single hit, but I can do so many little hits that it ends up adding up.
Yeah, so basically your attacks are equal to a swarm of mosquitoes at this point. Yes. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I only roll 4-sided dice when I hit, but I with just a single attack, I attack twice, so I basically hit for almost the equivalent of a D8. So
it's just when I was reading everybody's stuff, it's like they don't have a tank. They don't actually have anybody that will just walk up and hit somebody with a sword.
No,
that's why I chose the character I did.
Yeah, and Scott's character has a sword, but he plays that character really funny. It's enjoyable to watch. You just wait till we get into a fight because he'll do some things that you just look at it like, okay, all right. Like climbing on the roof and throwing javelins at the bad guys while the rest of us are down there in a swarm of like 15 bad guys.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm afraid of. That's why taking half damage sounds like a good play for my guy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. The other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is a couple of video games that I picked up. One of them is called Braveland, and this game is on Steam, but it's also You can also get it for your phone, so it's on Android and iPhone devices, and um, it's a fun little game. On Steam, it's only $5. It's got two other games that are very similar to it called Braveland Pirate and Braveland Wizard. The original Braveland game is a turn-based game inspired,
Inspired.
not inspired, inspired by old school strategy games. So you've got a hexagonal battlefield. You're moving your characters forward. They get some. They have a special ability that they do, but it's turn based, so it's just walk up, hit, walk away. You can build your army that allows you to get more characters. So like you can go to a tavern and basically purchase more archers to go in your group. So and as you level up, you can have more of them. There's bosses that you have to fight. It's really fun game, really fun, very simple, easy to pick up. I ended up buying it on my phone because it was one of those perfect, since it's turn based. You can, while you're sitting in line or just sitting in line or at lunch, you can just play a quick turn, no big deal, and it goes by real quick. So I liked playing it on my phone. The one downside that I had is that it is extremely simple. There's not a whole lot you can you eventually kind of figure out everything you need to do and can max out everything fairly quickly in the game. And then the other downside is really short. It's not very long, and the replayability isn't as high as what I would like. You can play it over and over again, but the story isn't going to change. You're going to play the same thing over and over again. So,
Gotcha.
if I was giving it on a 5-star rating, it'd probably be a 2.5. Just average game. Nothing like 2.5 makes it sound like it's a failing grade, but really 2.5 is just right there. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just good. It's just right there in the middle. But so if you see it on, a sale or something like that, and you like turn-based strategies, it's definitely worth picking up. The other game that I've been playing a lot of is Final Fantasy IX. This was on Steam and it was on sale a little while ago, and I ended up grabbing it for just a couple of bucks. And I played Final Fantasy VII, but then I didn't play anything. I didn't play 8 and I didn't play 9. I didn't get back into Final Fantasy until Final Fantasy X on the PS2, I believe. And so Final Fantasy IX was the last one on the original PlayStation. And I always heard it was really good, but since I didn't have an original PlayStation, I never played it. So I thought this would be fun. I get it for a couple bucks and start playing it. And it is a lot of fun. The story is really good. I like the turn-based combat. So this is very similar to 7 and 8 in the way it runs its combat. The story's a lot of fun. The characters are intriguing. Even early in the game, you kind of start picking up in the personality of the characters. You actually start caring about what they're doing and how that's going. And the realizing after I started playing it that, you know what, this game is actually way harder than I remember Final Fantasy VII being, and way harder than what I remember Final Fantasy X being. This is back in those days of the memory cards, so you still had saves.
Oh yeah.
And luckily in this one, they still have the save points where you talk to the little muggles, and you can save your game there. They're frequent enough that it's at least not too bad. It's not like playing some of the really old Final Fantasy games where you had to play it in one shot. There was no saving at all. But this game, I've already had to go to the Steam walkthrough guides, which are really cool. The Steam community puts these guides out there, and they're really helpful. It's kind of funny because depending on which one you get, some of them are actually walkthroughs from the old multiple disc things. So you have disc 1, disc 2, and disc 3 walkthroughs. So it's kind of funny. As you're flipping through it, since I have it on Steam, there's no discs. It's all digital. And but man, the game is just, I have died a bunch of times. I've had to not restart, but reload a save. Luckily, it does do some auto saving. So if you die in combat and it's a combat that you like a boss, you can just get back to the title screen, hit continue, and it jumps you right into where that boss battle is. So you don't have to go back and redo all the stuff up to the boss battle. You could basically just sit there, keep dying and trying again and trying again and trying again. And
yeah, nothing worse than dying and have to do everything over again.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if the original game was like that, where it kind of had the auto saves so you didn't have to replay a bunch of stuff, but that would have definitely, without that ability, I probably would have already put this thing down because I've died so many times, frustratingly, but it's also kind of it's turn-based in a sense, but it's called an active time battle. So you have a basically it's almost like an hourglass, time that you can, before you can make a move, you got to wait for the timer to get to a certain point, a bar to fill up all the way, and then you can act. Well, if you're sitting there, if you're not planning ahead with your moves, the other character, the opponent, is actually, their time battle thing is going as well. And so when theirs is full, when their bar fills up, then they attack. You don't get to see their bar, so you don't know how fast it's filling up or how quickly they're attacking. But if you sit there and ponder what you're going to do for too long, they're going to keep attacking you and you're going to end up dying. So it forces you to plan ahead, but it still gives you that sense of turn-based where it's like, okay, this person can go, this person can go, this person can go. You have some, and then you have some time to figure out what you're going to do next, which is, I like that. It fits with my playing style, and it's not first-person shooter, so I got an advantage.
Well, I hate to admit it, but I get frustrated with turn-based.
I can understand that.
I'm a first-person shooter guy, but at least it doesn't make you start the level over when you die to the boss man, because that'll send a person into a murderous rage.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you and I would find our common ground with some games like like your action hack and slash type games that would be just enough like combat, live action type stuff, and just enough character development RPG type thing, like a Diablo game or something like that. So I think
do like Diablo.
Yeah, that's where you and I find our merge of video games.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What's funny, because first-person shooters do not make me motion sick, but story games that are in first person do.
Yeah.
Like Fallout 4, couldn't play it.
Man, that's rough.
I was like 5 minutes in, it's like, I'm going to throw up. I can't play this game.
Oh, no.
It was so disappointing. So, if you're old like me, you got to be careful with the game you choose.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well, and that's what, I think it still is one of the things that turns me off from the first-person shooter type games. Third person I can handle. So when you're kind of like, like a Grand Theft Auto or a Fable type camera angle, I can do and I can handle that pretty well. But the first person stuff, I just get to looking around too quickly. Like, I'm not smooth with my movements. So I'm real jerky, and that can definitely get to me. That's why I don't play a lot of them.
Yeah, and apparently, well, I don't know this for sure, but one of my friends told me that you can turn um, Fallout to third person,
Yeah,
but I didn't realize that, and I already had taken it back, so
yeah.
I would never know. But yeah, it's funny. Call of Duty, where the action is fast and furious, and you're looking around everywhere, doesn't bother me at all. Story, where you can take your time and look around, fucks me up.
It's
I have, to take,
crazy.
I have to take like Dramamine or something before I play those
No.
games.
Yeah, yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Yay!
Well, I want to throw out there, we're Kip and I are working on some giveaways for some codes. I've got um, I've got a bunch of codes for some Ubisoft Tom Clancy games, and I'm looking at purchasing another Humble Bundle that's got some games that I already have, like Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist, or some games that I'm probably not going to play, like Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, although I might get that one just because it looks so freaking cool.
Well, plus it says Blood Dragon in the title.
Yeah, it's got Blood Dragon in the title. So if there's anyone out there that is paying attention to this stuff, then just stay tuned for some kind of contest to win some of these, win some games from Geek Vice. We got a whole bunch of games. Some of them old, like Rainbow Six Vegas. Some of them newer, like Splinter Cell Blacklist or Splinter Cell. I believe it's Double Agent, I think, is the other one that's fairly new, or Chaos Theory, one of those two. I got both of them.
Oh, man, it's your story.
So, yeah, we got lots of stuff. So, Call of Juarez Gunslinger, that's a Steam sale there. So, yeah, stay tuned. This contest might be so simple that all it takes is somebody to email us and say they want a game, and I will send them a game. How about that?
Wow. So easy, even I could win.
Yeah, just a matter of building up some interaction with the people who listen to this show. So stay tuned for the coming weeks, and we will have something there. And yeah, that's what we got. You got anything else you want to throw out there?
Nope, I just think people should thank their lucky stars when their electricity works.
That's right. Joy of electricity. So, all right, guys, you can check out our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. You can also follow us on Google Plus and Facebook. Just search for Geek Vice, or you can go to facebook.com/geekvice. You can also follow us on Twitter. That man over there at Kip Killigan. You can follow me at Geek Vice. I also want to throw a shout out or throw a plug for our YouTube channel. You can get to it. The easiest way to get to it is cc/geekvice, or you can go to YouTube and search for Geek Vice. Subscribe, like our channel. That'll help us out with some of the stuff. You can watch our video on there. You can also download our podcast on any place you get podcasts. They're there in all the places. If you download it from a place and it's not there, or you like getting your podcast from somewhere and ours isn't there, let us know and we will get it there. Make sure you like on all those things and comment on them, give us 5 stars, all that stuff. So thanks everybody for listening to our ramblings, and as always, you can email us with ideas for topics or things you want to complain about. You can email us at geekvice@gmail.com, and we will see you next week.
Later.